It's time for To the Max Sports, where we talk about sports. They're just two guys, Max and Drew, in a bar talking all things sports. Well, without the bar. And the beer. Wait, why aren't we in the bar?
Hello, and welcome to the Max Sports. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for
To the Max
Sports.
Hold on. It's actually 1739 for us military folk.
Oh, Roger that.
That's what time it is.
Roger that. This character sitting beside me is Easy Ed Pena. How you doing, Ed?
Call me Udaldo Pena.
Weirdest guy you ever meet. He claims to be a Cowboys fan, but he's wearing full Bronco regalia.
I was going to wear my Bronco socks, but I couldn't find them. They were too deep in the sock drawer, so I'm sorry.
Okay, well,
but everything on me is blue.
No, hold on. I mean, are your socks in your sock drawer, or are they in Sean Payton's mouth after what he said about Nathaniel Hackett?
Tell us what he said again.
Well, he said he was the worst coach in the history of the NFL.
Yeah. And then what did Roger say?
Don't you be talking on my guy.
And then what does your guy say?
My guy? Oh, Aaron Rodgers?
Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Though for this one, I'll give credit to Rodgers for sticking up for his guy.
Sure.
That was good.
Well, I like how he channeled Will Smith. Keep your coach's name out your mouth. Keep my coach's name out your mouth.
Hey, well, it's that part of the year. They're all starting the little controversies and stuff they want to talk away.
The Broncos.
So anything's going to bring it up because, the Broncos we know suck, but we're working on them sucking better this year.
Well, they're kind of a hot mess. They have been for a while. And who knows what their quarterback's going to do this year.
Well, Ed, the one thing I want to know out of Denver, did you all put police in front of all the buffet lines for Russell Wilson so he doesn't go and pork up before this season?
No.
I got something around my tummy. He had a little bit of a pudge last year.
When's the last time you've been to Denver?
I've been a bunch of long time.
When I went to my high school reunion, my 50th high school reunion, West High School, 1972. We graduated, a bunch of us. And but I was there 5 years ago for the first time. I hadn't been there in like 10 years. And I'm downtown. I'm going, man, that coffee smells good. That's a good coffee. It wasn't coffee. It was that marijuana they're selling on all the corners, which didn't bother me. We smoked it back then, and hasn't bothered me since.
That was the sweet smell of Khalid is rising up through the air.
Yeah, so I was there again in the summertime, and it was wonderful.
Well, speaking of wacky, you know what? Going back to the Broncos real quick.
Yes, sir.
Here's kind of a sad story.
Right.
Tim Patrick, he was one of their wide receivers. You probably didn't hear him because he played really well his first year.
Yeah.
Second year, he tears his ACL.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he was off for the whole year.
Gone for the whole year, comes back, third practice, tears his left Achilles heel.
Yeah.
So this poor guy was carted off the field practically in
These guys don't do, they need to do yoga. They need to do yoga.
Or jujitsu.
Well, something. They got to stretch. They're not stretching right. Come on, man. I mean, you're an athlete. You're getting paid millions and thousands of dollars. They should do yoga.
Maybe more Colitis.
They should do something. I mean, come on, just the extra. Remember the exercise? Were you ever in football? Remember the practices we used to do? The neck practice. I mean,
practice 8 hours with no water.
I got hurt the very first play in Pop Warner football. Hurt my knee, and it hurt me the rest of my life. I finally got it replaced. But these guys don't. They don't stretch. Me personally, I've been doing yoga for 25 years.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit of a violent game, and shit happens. I mean,
this was off. This was just a routine cut.
Yeah, just a routine cut. Yeah.
Well, I mean, talking about weird stuff. Who's the player who had a jet ski accident?
I heard about that. Something.
Didn't hear that one.
Yeah. I heard something about that.
Was that a jet ski accident?
It was. Yes, it was.
It was a jet ski accident, which is interesting because I thought most of these players have clauses in their contract that prevent them from that. Yeah.
A lot of them do.
Yeah. So talking about injuries and Achilles, you got to watch out for your boy there, Drew. Ooh. That calf injury on Joey Burrows, that could lead to an Achilles problem.
Who is the second string quarterback out there?
Trevor
Siemian.
Yeah.
Trevor Siemian.
They signed another guy, but
tall guy. Real tall guy.
Yeah.
Used to be a Bronco.
He did. Cool. That's right.
Used to be a Bronco.
Way back in the day.
Quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a Redskin for a while. He's kind of been a journeyman. He's moved around a little bit. Commanders. Well.
And hopefully with their new ownership, they change names.
I want Washington football team back. You know, a lot of
like
the USFL or the other teams that were playing here, you know, a lot of those guys made it to some of those professional teams, you know, which is great. I think it's great.
Supposedly the Redskins are vying for another name.
Yeah.
Commanders. Well, no.
No, I heard another. Or is that,
No, the hope is that they go back to Washington football team.
I thought that was a cool name.
Commanders?
No.
We were the Commanders.
No.
The Washington football
Not
team?
the Commanders, the Washington football team.
Well, here's the
It's unique. It's on point.
No, absolutely.
Washington
But here's the problem with Commanders. Shorten up Commanders to a 2-syllable name. What does it come out to?
Commies.
Commies. What are their colors?
Yeah.
Red and gold.
Red and gold.
Or red and yellow. What are Soviet Union's colors? Red and gold. In Washington, D.C., McCarthy's turning over in his grave.
Yeah. It kind of fits what's going on in D.C. right now, I guess.
Oh, my God.
So Ed has a show. He comes in. He's going to talk a little sports. But you have a show on Wednesdays. We're going to promote you. It's called
Strange Nights with a spelled with a K.
I want him to promote us.
And then I'll talk about you guys tomorrow night. That's be no problem.
So
I was asking if you want to be on the show.
You're
Where
into
the
a topic
UFOs
that's been
goes.
hot.
Huh?
You were into UFOs before UFOs.
Oh, yeah.
were into
Yeah. Well,
us
I've been
before
doing
they were
that for
cool.
years and years. And I brought one of my friends here, found him at a Goodwill, you know, and he's got a couple of moves. He'll start moving every now and then. Sometimes during the show, he doesn't. Oh, you got to face it. Got to close up. Hey.
What happened? What did you do to his hand?
Well, that's where the saber was.
What are you doing with the Yoda?
And
If he
so
keeps doing that, he'll go blind, Ed.
he'll go blind.
So
Sometimes his juice works. Sometimes it doesn't. What?
well, we did. We have actually made contact with the aliens. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. This is breaking news.
What?
For those of you that are watching on YouTube, could you post this? This is breaking news.
Take us to your leader? Never mind.
It's a picture of Joe Biden. Never mind.
Yeah, at least they're not going to the toilet to get the nuclear war plans.
That's right. That's right. You know.
The rest of it's going down the toilet.
Well, I know he was sitting there in the pot and going, let me see, will that ink come off on my ass if I use that for toilet paper? I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's use the national requirement.
Man, I'm feeling really, really plugged up right now. Okay, Iran, Tehran, 10 mega. Okay, good. I feel better now.
I feel better. North Korea. Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't feel as good as if he would have gotten $5 million from Romania, $10 million from China.
Oh, you must be talking about his son.
25 shell companies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other son. I'm sorry.
No, that's his son. Well, you know that Trump has his name is emblazoned all over China. He has the rights to Trump name out there in China. You know, that was a huge deal. Huge deal. That happened like 8 years ago, 6 years ago. So anyway, what else going on?
So in more fun news,
Yes.
Justin Verlander to the Houston Astros.
So it didn't take August. Actually, it didn't take September for the Mets to implode.
No,
they did it by August.
Well, they're imploding by choice now.
Oh, by choice.
So what, like 10, 20 games out or something? Or what?
No, they had high expectations.
Yeah.
With a $400 million salary.
Yeah.
Give me $400 million. I'll do better.
Yeah,
so Verlander's to Houston.
Scherzer is to the Rangers.
Scherzer's Rangers.
Go Rangers!
I think they dumped one of their relievers.
Mm-hmm.
They did.
Top-notch reliever in Tampa Bay. So,
and our hitting didn't look too good over the weekend
Yeah,
when San Diego whipped us for 3 days.
a full-blown blowout.
Jeez. But that's okay.
Yeah.
I like the way they played against Houston last week, and they were up for it. You know, a couple of our guys, Heim and they're out for a little while.
Guys, who are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about on the Rangers side.
Okay, because we have a lot of viewers, Ed.
Yeah. So
all three of them.
All three of them.
Another team that blew up their squad and just total rebuild is the Cardinals.
I know. I'm a Mets fan. Cardinals can blow up a radioactive device at St. Louis Stadium, make it a radioactive cinder. I don't care.
Well, we are a sports team, sports podcast, so we do have to talk about all the teams.
Well, let's talk about all the teams.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So who wins in this trading deadline? The Rangers?
The Rangers. The Rangers going to win. You know, Verlander, I mean, he was hurt earlier in the year. Who says he's not going to be still hurt in Houston?
And he's,
you know,
well,
my issue or my fear, if I'm an Astros fan, is does Verlander remain healthy?
Right.
My fear, if I'm a Ranger fan, is does Scherzer remain healthy? That's the problem for both of these guys over the last couple of years has not been whether or not they want to be fighters. Scherzer is a barbarian. He'll go out there with a broken foot if you let him. But both of these guys at the back end of the season have started to tail off with injuries. You look at what happened with Kershaw and the Dodgers. He just tailed off in the postseason because they didn't give him enough rest. Yeah. So
that's and I'm a Dodger fan too. I love the Dodgers. I used to live in L.A.
Hey Ed, if you root for everybody, you're rooting for nobody.
Well, that's just the way I am, man.
This is
NFL, AFL.
He's what you call the ultimate team player.
Come on, if I can't just be on one team, I got to be on two teams. So one is you got the American League and you got the National League. So and they're going to clash.
So what years were you in LA being a hardcore Dodger fan?
I was in LA in 77 through 70. Now 80, 81.
Good days to be a Dodger fan.
Yeah, I was a Dodger. I was all the guys working at the restaurant. They were all Dodger fans, and at that time, I was a Yankee fan. I was really a Yankee fan, and the Yankees were down 3-0 in the World Series. And I said they're going to come back and win. And they did. They did. I was a Yankee fan at that point, and I had a friend of mine who was a ball boy for the Angels. And remember Thurman Munson? We all remember Thurman Munson.
Oh yeah.
Thurman Munson gave him his batting helmet.
Nice.
And I said, Rob, I'll never rob you, but if I went to your house, that's the only thing I'd take is your helmet.
I hope he kept it for a while.
I'm sure he still got it.
Good for him. It's worth a little bit of money now.
Yeah. Now I had, I'll tell you another sports story. I used to be a bellhop, room service, and busboy at a nice resort in Scottsdale, Arizona, before it became a real big Scottsdale. And at 9 o'clock at night, a bus pulls up. They had the spring training out there for Scottsdale.
Yeah. Which team's this?
No, this is the San Francisco Giants. So a bus pulls up. I'm going, oh my God, I love that whole bus. One guy gets out, and it was Willie McCovey.
Awesome.
Okay. So I took 5 of his bags upstairs, and put him in his room. He says, "Hey, do you want cash? Or you want a ball? Let me have a ball." So he signs a ball. This is 1971.
Okay.
Signs me a ball. Had it in my drawer for years. Then my brothers needed a ball to play ball one day, and they took it out of my drawer.
That is a justifiable defense for brother side.
So somewhere out there is a baseball with his name on it. But my brother gave me a plaque that had part of his uniform and a part of the baseball. It's not the same.
Yeah, just not the same.
Can you imagine that ball would be worth like $2,000 right now?
Well, I grew up in the 70s. I hated the Dodgers because I was a big red machine man.
At
75, 76.
Yeah.
You guys won in 77. When I say you guys, the Dodgers. Yankees beat the Dodgers.
Yeah.
The Dodgers never did win the World Series in the 70s.
Yeah, they did.
In the 70s. In the 80s.
Yeah.
I think
they didn't win in the 70s.
No, they didn't win the 70s. They went there a couple
But they had some great teams. Garvey.
Oh, yeah. I love the
Ropes,
Garvey. Ron Say get up there like this. Always looked like he was taking a turn.
Though talking about your Reds and a red machine, they're on a little bit of a slide.
Why do you say that?
But
they
won 5
straight games.
They're in first place. Right?
Okay.
They came out of the All-Star.
They reversed their slide then.
Yeah, they won like 5 straight.
Okay, they're still going to lose.
As long as we don't play Milwaukee every day, we'll be fine. The good news is we got them out of our system. We have no more games left with Milwaukee. So
do you like this even schedule against everyone else in Major League Baseball, or would you like to go back to more divisional games?
I actually like.
I like it spread it out because they're playing other teams that and they haven't gotten there before, and they're different things.
I like the fact the Yankees can come to Cincinnati for a weekend series, or we can get in New York, or now with baseball being interleague play, which I think was a great idea way back when it first started. You get to see all your teams. I think it's good for baseball. I think baseball is making a comeback.
Baseball's doing great. I'm still deep into baseball right now. Football's coming around, and I'll get. I'm really not going to really pay attention to all the preseason games are over. Preseason. I hate the preseason games. I was telling them about the Cowboys. When I say the story about the Cowboys, I know you're going to throw up, but I won those scratch offs, so $5 scratch offs, and I won their top prize of $100,000. Wasn't worth $100,000, where you get to go with another person down to the Frisco facility, and you get to spend a couple of days with the Cowboys, and which I did. I got to go to their party in their party bus, which isn't like
the party boat for the Minnesota Vikings,
right?
And what year was this?
This was like about 4 years ago.
Okay,
anyway,
you wouldn't want to have been partying with Michael Irvin. And
no, you weren't there. You weren't there at the time. But so I got to go to the war room, watch him make trades and stuff. And the biggest thing is I got a couple of signed footballs signed by Jason Garrett and
coach,
yeah, and the Suns and also Jerry Jones. So we got to take a picture with everybody, and so I said, leave a space here for my dad because he died like about 8 years ago.
Aww.
And I said, my dad said, if you ever had the opportunity to ask Jerry Jones this question, ask him that.
Oh God.
So I said, Mr. Jones, I got to ask you a question. My dad said, if I ever get to ask you this question, He said, well, what's the question? Why'd you do what you did 25 years ago? And I said, Dad, it was just business. Like he was there. And they're all laughing. And he said, what do you say about this year's picks? He says, just turn around and throw a dart. That's when they picked Paco.
Oh, yeah.
True story. So I got, my taxes, they showed that I made $50,000. I didn't make $50,000. That wasn't worth $50,000. I didn't even get season tickets. I got a bunch of swag and got, spent time. It was, it cost me $5,000 in taxes. So
there you go.
Well, I guess now I have to tell my Jerry Jones story.
Okay. What's the Jerry Jones?
I think I haven't told it since our second podcast.
What is it? I didn't hear it.
So I'm in Dallas when I was living there. I'm in a bar with some buddies, and Jerry Jones comes in with an entourage.
Yeah.
A young lady on his left arm that wasn't his wife. Just a good friend, I'm assuming. And so
she's a ball girl.
Yeah. It's 3 or 4 of us, and the bar is one of those circular bars.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name of the place. But it was happening back in the day.
Yeah.
And we're with one of our female friends, and we're like, oh, man, Jerry Jones, he's over there. And I don't want to bother him. Should we? And she goes, you guys, she walks over. She starts talking to him.
Oh, yeah, she's cute. Look good looking
and
girl.
All of a sudden, he's waving us over.
Oh, really? The whole group?
3 of us.
Okay, what's the whole group?
So we walk over there. Right. He's impressed. So we walk over there, and couldn't have been a nicer guy. Asked us what we did for a living.
Really?
Tapped me on the shoulder, made me feel good. He goes, man, boy, you're big enough. You could play for us. Back then I was relatively larger. In different areas than I am now. And I said, Jerry, that is
not in the prostate.
I said, Jerry, that is a big ass ring you got on you. That's here. He goes, maybe it'll fit you. Took off his ring, slipped it on my finger, and I got to put on Jerry Jones' Super Bowl ring for just a brief instant.
How tempted were you to just run like the wind?
Not at all.
Jerry wouldn't win.
Not at all.
And you know what? He hasn't washed that hand since. He has not, since that ring was on that finger, he has not washed that hand or that finger. He has not washed that particular finger. I don't know. Why.
His girlfriend has said stuff.
I haven't washed that finger since 1997 when I met Jerry Jones.
Oh, that's
in a bar called Sam Lucas.
Sam Lucas.
So what else is going on in the NFL that intrigues you guys?
Well, I'm glad that they're. Have you ever been to one of their practices, a Cowboy practice? I remember going to the Oilers practice, and me back then it was so hot, so much water. They had those good sprayers on them, man. I mean, just soaks you in seconds, man. Just. That's great. And they're doing that for all these high school kids that are all practicing in the morning or late in the evening. You got to do that. I mean, we lived in Denver. They used to give us salt pills,
Remember that back in the day?
I remember the day, yeah. I liked the taste of it, And Gatorade first came out, man. You were hot if you get Gatorade. It's like 50 cents, man. Where am I going to get 50 cents? It's like 16.
I mean, I was living up in Minnesota when they had one of their linemen die during their summer practices.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Speaking of, going back to
dead people.
Well, nearly dead. Hamlin practiced for the first time with pads.
Good for him.
Yes, he did.
He said it was a little scary, but he went out there and.
Nice, well, that's great.
He's back. God bless his heart.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, talking about hearts, Bronny James, LeBron's son.
Yeah, that's scary stuff, man.
I mean, come on. My son had a open heart surgery when he was 5 years old.
Wow.
Because the muscles between the two chambers were, there had been a hole was in there. And so when they got in there at 5 years old, it closed up, I just treated him like a regular kid. And I'll never forget, after the first day, he had all these wires sticking out and everything. And we're painting, coloring books and stuff. And he says, he's crying. He says, what's wrong? What? Daddy's painting the sky brown. Oh, sorry. Well, he's back to normal. And 2 weeks later, he was jumping off a picnic table right into one of those little pool things, I was like,
I'll tell you.
Send him to Atlantic City, jump off to Steel Pier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Heart conditions aren't good. I mean, I still remember I was so stoked back in, 86. My Celtics were contending for titles every year. They get the first round draft pick, Len Bias.
And goes out and gets coked up. Yeah, that was so bad. That was so sad.
Yeah, it was sad.
I remember that.
Because I was just thinking, what an amazing team they would have had. Yeah. You just never know. And hopefully this kid will be able to play. I haven't heard much.
I've heard one YouTube actual MD doctor saying he may never play elite competitive basketball ever again.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of strange.
Well, you're going to have these, But unless it's the doctor that's diagnosed him.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be what was the underlying condition that caused this?
Exactly.
And we're never going to know. We're never going to know.
No, they're going to say something in the family or something like that. He might have even had a heart condition by himself. LeBron. So, and like I say, it's just it had to be a history of it. It just doesn't happen overnight. There had to be a build up to it.
Yeah, that was one of his reasons for hanging around was because he wanted to play with his son. But I don't know if that's going to be in jeopardy or not. But as a parent, that had to have been some scary stuff. They say his younger kid actually may be the better of
the two.
Wow.
It's kind of a little competition there.
Yeah.
We never, I was never had a lot of what'd you say? A lot of what? Okay. Sports in our family. We play sports, but we're small. I mean, we're Mexicans. We got small hands. We weren't the big. Remember Senior Sack. Senior Sack. He was huge.
Well, you know what they say: small hands.
What?
Small gloves.
Well, here's an interesting fact I read probably about a couple years ago. In the NFL in 1978, I think I already told you, how many players weighed over 300 pounds?
78?
1978 that played in the NFL. Over 300 pounds.
Less than a half a dozen.
No, I would say more than that.
2 players.
Only 2 players.
Imagine
over 3?
That. 2 players in 1978.
We were both knocked out by Price is Right rules.
And so now you can't field a high school football team that they're
without a 300-pounder. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That 320-pound NFL lineman can still run faster than any of us.
Yep.
In our prime.
Yep. And it bothers him. Because my brother Mo is the same way. He's bigger than me. And the doctors just say, how are you doing it? Whiskey and marijuana, and that's it. I mean, but it just can't see how he's actually healthy, and I'm healthy too. But, and I exercise. He rarely exercises, but it's just some big guys already have that in there. It's just their composition, the way they're made. Mama did it,
I mean, I read one thing years and years ago was, okay, so what is the number one way to get a fit, toned body? Genetics.
Genetics certainly help.
Genetics, yeah.
Well, let's get your thoughts on this. We haven't talked about it, and since we're doing this alien theme, and we got Yoda with ADD over here.
Yeah.
What do you think about Wembanyama, and do you like that nickname LeBron gave him?
What did he alien? What did he call him?
The alien.
No, I don't like that. I didn't hear that. Yeah, I got the very first picture of Wembanyama's, because at that club where we do the show at Southtown 101 on St. Mary's and Breda,
9 o'clock Wednesdays.
Artist was out there drawing them out, and I bought an illegal shirt inside the club. It said, "Give me some nasty" from Popovich, and it Wembanyama like this. So I got in front of. I was the very first one to do a picture in front of that mural of Wembanyama. You know, because some of the people did a head and somebody else did a body, but they were the first one to do a big. You know, and my brother. So I took a picture. And my brother goes, "Can you get your arms a little longer?" I said, "No, that's it. I ain't going a little longer." So,
dude,
they actually have video of Popovich when the guy he drove by and took selfies.
Yeah, he drove by and took a picture with the artists and stuff. So it was kind of cool.
Dude's got an 8-foot wingspan.
It's insane.
So, how big was Duncan? He was at least 7 foot. 7 foot. He was a swimmer. He wanted to be he was a real top swimmer.
I don't know. Going back with an 8-foot wingspan, I'm kind of liking the alien. Kind of liking that nickname.
He's something.
Yeah, it is. But I don't think they would have given him all this hype if it wasn't, something to back up. And somebody said, well, he's going to have to get some weight. Well, they said about who was it that's retired from the Lakers?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, Kareem. They said he was a real skinny guy when he came in.
And that's
skinny back then.
Right. And that's actually what his handlers are going for.
Yeah.
They're looking for his progression to actually match more of Kareem Abdul's progression.
Yeah.
And not they're like, there's no reason to put weight on him just to put weight on him. Right. That's the wrong thing to do. The dude's already been physiologically prepared to be on those legs, those ankles, those feet. He is going to be someone who I think is going to buck the trend of someone who's over 7 foot, because my book on 7 foot NBA players, they're going to have problems with their legs and we're not going to see him after 2 or 3 years. I don't think that's the case with this kid.
Yeah. And I think, he'll put on 20, 25 pounds of hard muscle.
How old is he? 19? Come on. He's got another foot to grow, another 30.
I was a virgin at 19.
He's going to get his adult weight. Well, I don't know about that, but that may be questionable. But
I don't think he's a virgin.
No. Oh, are you kidding? Some girl go up to it, you can just stay right there.
Well, if he had been, Brittany may have wanted to not to be one.
But to your point, I mean, this kid could grow another 2 or 3 inches. Who knows?
Yeah, he's going to grow another 2 or 3 inches, and he's going to gain his adult weight. Yeah. You know, adult weight. That's when all of a sudden you're like, you're real thin. All of a sudden you're like.
Every time I step out of the shower, I see my adult weight, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I just want him to put weight on in the right places.
Oh yeah.
In the right way, and I'm backing off.
Flexibility is going to be so important. That's why I always push yoga and the stretching exercises. These guys, if they incorporate that yoga strength training through their workouts and stuff like that, they're not going to have these problems. Man.
And I mean, talking about that,
are you going to back off the Rookie of the Year comments and go with my scoot?
The only way I do that is if he is programmed not to play enough games to qualify. If he plays,
he's going to play games to qualify. They're just going to limit his minutes.
If he plays enough games to qualify as Rookie of the Year, he will get Rookie of the Year.
You talk Wembanyama?
Scoot Henderson will get Rookie of the Year.
You heard about that kid who found his Wembanyama rookie card from France? In the tops, he bought a bunch of boxes, and he was just like, shh, and they finally found one. And it was, but it was France. It was from France. It wasn't.
I'd have been picking it out because you want to keep that grade A.
He is as happy as Aramark is as sad when they sold their minority stake about a week and a half before the Spurs got the #1 draft pick.
Yeah, Aramark, the
food service people. Yeah, apparently they had a minority. They had a minority ownership in the Spurs, and they sold it a week before the lottery picks.
Yeah.
And the estimates are anywhere between $500 and $1 billion that one night getting the #1 overall added to the Spurs value.
Yeah, 25,000 people signed up that night, on the and I was playing cards at the card house or at the Rounders and stuff, and we all heard it. Place just went nuts. We just went nuts. It was great. I didn't go. I have gone to a Spurs game in 2 years, so I'll probably go this year, maybe once or twice.
I mean, sports franchise values are insane.
Yep,
it's crazy.
The Washington football team went for $6 billion.
It's insane.
And that team is a dumpster fire. To call that team a dumpster fire insults dumpster fires downtown.
Well, you look at what Red did. Red McCombs, when he bought the Minnesota Vikings, bought it for $300 million, turned around about 5 years later, sold it for $800 million. And then they sold again. So these guys, they got the money.
And
sports, and the sports will keep coming up.
Sports have done a real good job of marketing now to international audiences.
Yeah.
And getting international players.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at the fan base. Just this kid's from France.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine the European fan base he's going to bring to the NBA. Mm-hmm. Just by virtue of being from, the European country.
It'll be a smaller version of Shohei Ohtani.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of naming rights, the Spurs, keeping with the Spurs theme.
Yeah.
They just got bought Frost Bank, which I don't know how bank. Man, it must be nice to be a banker. Have enough money to
get naming
rights to.
Yeah, they were naming rights. You're right. It's going to be Frost. Is it going to be the Frost Stadium or?
Well, it's Frost. They
want.
It's going to be sponsored by Frost Bank,
right?
But now they want a name for the stadium. I'm thinking.
A new stadium. They're looking at a new stadium over here downtown, which I think is good. But
for the one now,
we got the Alamo one. I mean, that and then the one they did out here on Commerce Street. Yeah, I mean, come on, they put it in a spot. I mean, you got on this side, you got the golf course. They're not going to leave. Then on this side, you got Coca-Cola's plant is right there.
I mean,
and then they had no place.
Ed, you missed our show from last week.
I did. What to talk about?
But that was the whole thing of putting the AT&T Center out there, was to make it better, and we got a Coca-Cola distribution center.
So my question is, they're having a contest. What do you name the stadium?
Yeah,
the Frost. I don't know.
Frosties. Well, have you ever been in Denver? You ever been to their the stadium they have there for the Rockies? Incredible. I mean, there's just like about 50,000 bars around.
It's the centerpiece of the city.
It's the centerpiece of the city.
And not to rehash last week's pod, but we talked about this. This city has no sports theme where everyone gathers in the city.
And, if you go to Denver, you hit 2 or 3 bars, and then when you get into the stadium, there's more bars.
Yeah, but I mean, the issue with us though is our downtown is actually very, very crowded. In order to put something big enough to host an NBA team,
they can
and then have the development. No, we already have the spot. It's the Institute of Texan Cultures, because we have no culture in San Antonio.
That's good. That's a great spot.
And they're actually
because what are they going to do with the federal building? Because they got another federal building. They're supposed to knock that one down. So I think that's a great spot.
I say if I was an architect proposing, leave that building up and renovate the whole entirety of the interior and make that a spot to go.
Yeah, but then you got the Alamo Dome right across the street. Come on.
Yeah, but they need to tear that. Actually, tear that down.
They're thinking about tearing that down too.
But they need to do something.
They should put walkways to connect both buildings. They could put everything up. I mean, we could put these highways up in the sky. Why can't we put the stadium up on stilts and stuff like that?
We have great ideas. We just don't have the money. You heard it from Ed. Ed, we're going to finish with, because we don't want to lose everybody.
Okay.
And this guy's got ADD, makes me look like a...
I'm still put off by that wrap on his hand.
So you ask me a question.
Okay.
And it's single elimination. The minute you get the answer right, you're out. So you can pick any sport you want.
Okay.
And I will try to guess the answer. For those of you at home, play along. We pretty much suck. You should be able to beat us.
Okay, this one right here.
Yoda, you're out.
Yoda, you're out. Okay, this is baseball. Question. A batter hits a ball into the gap in the outfield.
Okay.
The fielder cannot reach the ball, so he throws his glove at it, hitting it. It rolls to the fence as the batter tries for an inside-the-park home run. He is thrown out at home. His manager claims he is entitled to return to third since the thrown glove hit the ball. Is he correct?
That's an interesting one, because I don't know.
I've done that. Throw the ball, I think.
Since I've never seen a major leaguer intentionally throw a ball, I'm assuming it's not allowed. So I'm going to say you cannot throw your glove to impede a ball.
No. A thrown glove touching a batted ball would have entitled him to 3 bases with the ball remaining in play. His mistake was trying for a home where he was put out. So he would have been okay at third base.
Okay.
He should have stayed at third base.
I was kind of confused about that.
Okay. So Drew's out. Boom.
All right.
I guess. I just said he couldn't throw the ball, but apparently you can.
Okay.
The glove with the ball.
Next question.
So you can take your glove, throw it at a ball to stop the progress.
Well, you give up 3 bases.
Okay.
Either way.
But you still can do it.
And then you're, but you give up 3 bases. You got to hope he goes and runs for home.
Yeah. Exactly like this idiot did.
Yeah. I'm out. All right, college football. This is for, what's your name, Bob?
Yeah, something like that. Spell it backwards.
John intercepts a pass in his own end zone, attempts to run it out, but is tackled in the end zone. What is the ruling?
Touchback.
Yep, touchback. Yeah.
You're correct.
Yeah, that's touchback.
All right, Ed.
That's easy. We'll just randomly.
I give Bob the easy ones. When you have that special student, you got to.
I understand, sir. Okay, so this is going to be. I like baseball, so we're going to go to baseball. What?
Calm down.
Okay, I'm going back.
He's going to ask you a question.
Oh, you're asking me. Oh, pardon me.
Okay, which
Ed only smokes the good stuff.
Which sport would you like, Ed? I'm gonna give you an opportunity.
Any sport.
Whatever. Wuss. Make a choice.
Baseball.
Okay.
Baseball been very, very good to me.
Where's baseball? Okay. A catcher's throw strikes the hitter's bat as he attempts to throw out a base stealer. Is the ball dead?
Say that question again. What's the question?
A catcher's throw strikes the hitter's bat as he attempts to throw out a base stealer. Is the ball dead?
That sounds, I would say, no, it was interference. Thank you.
Well, if it was interference, it would be dead. It's actually, your answer is right. No, the ball remains in play.
It would remain in play. So what? He hit the ball. So, yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to give 2 co-winners, Bob and Ed.
And
then we're going to promo your show again. What is it? Wet Nights?
This is Strange Nights on Wednesday night. With a K. On 9 o'clock on YouTube. I'm also on Facebook. But we start at 9 o'clock, and we have music out there and food and wonderful girls, and we have all kinds of crazy people come by. So if y'all want, he will be there, plus all my other robots and other characters will be there too. And, we promote weird stuff, weird stories and stuff, just goofy stuff.
All that conspiracy stuff?
Conspiracy.
Like
I'll tell you a weird story that happened a couple weeks ago. True story. Lady was in Oklahoma driving down the street, and somebody throws a pig out her window. Just throws a live pig out the window. And they go, and the lady said it bounced about 15 times. I said, how do you know it bounced 15 times? Well, I was counting them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So she knew it was about 15 times. And then the pig he stops, brushes him off, just walks away. Pig was okay. It was tough. One tough piggy.
We have never done it, but we officially ended the podcast with a pig story.
There we go.
We'll see you next week, folks. Until then.
Thank you, Ed.
Hey.